Good morning, gang. Happy Thursday morning. Okay, this one really pertains to people that are about my age. Okay, now, younger people are certainly going to be affected by this. Those of you that are already retired, you're going to be affected by this. But the ones that are really going to get screwed are those people that are Gen X. I'm talking about Social Security. Now, I'm going to give you this just for clarification. I looked at my Social Security statement. I haven't got 2024's yet. But as of 2023, I've paid $170,000 roughly into Social Security in my working life. And before anybody says, oh, half of that was paid by your employer, sure it was. I get that. All it was pay that they didn't give me in the first place. So, yeah, when they say, oh, your employer pays half, no, they don't. They just lower your pay rate. So, $170,000 in my life, which may not sound like a ton of money, but if it was invested in a savings account over the course of my life and not pissed away in the general fund, there'd be over $1 million in there. Okay. And so when Uncle Sam says I'm going to get $1,700 a month for the rest of my life, I'm getting screwed. But that's not the point. I did a video on that a while ago, how much we all should have if the money was just put in a savings account, not even invested, just put in 30-year treasuries. Two things happened yesterday that we need to be aware of. The first, and both of these are going to be extremely interesting to see what happens. Because how many years, if not decades, have we heard that the Social Security was going broke, and by such and such a date, Social Security won't have any more money to pay you. So in other words, they're going to screw me out of my $170,000 that I've saved. Right? Gotcha. Okay. We've heard this for years and years and years and years and years. Lately, we keep hearing, primarily out of Chuck Schumer, that, oh my God, Trump is trying to take Social Security away and all this sort of stuff, right? So how the government, who wasted Social Security, wasted all the money, the Democrats are also out there explaining that we're not going to have any money and Trump's trying to take it away. They're still trying to pin Project 2025 on him, which I don't know how many times he's got to say it, that Social Security is not at risk for anything by any sort of spending cuts whatsoever. If you're eligible for Social Security, you're going to get your Social Security. Okay. Chuck Schumer can't get through that through the chasm that is his skull. But now it's getting interesting, and we're going to see how more the Democrats raise hell on this one. Trump signed an executive order yesterday to bar illegals from collecting Social Security benefits. And I'm like, okay, what's so controversial about this? They never paid anything into it. Why the hell should they collect it? And of course, the Democrats are screaming bloody murder about this one. Already judge shopping, trying to find a court that will say, no, we have to continue paying illegals for Social Security. So I go back to Social Security's going broke. Okay, so let's start paying people Social Security who never contributed to it. The logic just ain't there. Oh, Trump's going to cut your Social Security benefits, Chuck Schumer. Why? Well, because we have to pay the illegal Social Security. I mean, this is the logic that they are trying to use. And I'm like, who in their right mind believes any of this shit? There's no cuts to Social Security, and the illegals don't deserve to collect it. They can't work. they can't pay Social Security, and they shouldn't be able to collect it. Sorry, you don't get to come here as an economic migrant and say, hi, I'm here, give me free money. I saw a story yesterday, again, where you had illegals screaming that they're not given enough to pay their rent. They're not given enough for housing as a whole, so whether or not they're staying at a hotel or whatever. They're not given enough money for food, and they're not given enough pocket cash, was the comment. I tell you this, dude. You don't deserve any of it. You want money for housing, money for food, money for pocket cash? Get a freaking job. But I'm not allowed to work here. Then you shouldn't be here. Go somewhere where you're allowed to work. Like, I don't know, home? That'd be a hell of an idea. But that's the other problem we have, is we have all these people who are economic migrants that, besides the fact they're taking jobs away, and don't give me the crap of, oh, gee, citizens won't pick strawberries or pluck chickens or do whatever. Yeah, there's plenty that would, okay? It's just the jobs aren't available because, hey, we can pay Juan below minimum wage, and that way we can get our profits up because we don't work for anything, okay? This is where E-Verify comes in again. We should require companies to verify the citizenry of every employee. I'm personally a fan of ICE going into these companies, these farms, wherever, and saying, okay, here's the deal, effective, I don't know, let's say May 1st. The fine for a company will be $10,000 per day per illegal on payroll. Let's see how that works for your bottom line. You don't want to pay fair wages to Americans because you can pay slave labor for illegals? Let's stop that. We'll just start fining you. But of course, the Democrats are screaming about that. We see the senator, I believe, who is down in El Salvador trying to return Garcia, the MS-13 guy they deported. The Supreme Court said that we have to send him back. We have to get him back. Supreme Court doesn't have jurisdiction over El Salvador. Bukele already said, we ain't releasing him. That's it. The Supreme Court of the United States is just that, the Supreme Court of the United States. It's not the Supreme Court of Earth. Doesn't matter. He's an El Salvadoran citizen who's committed crimes in El Salvador. He's in an El Salvador prison. It's called extradition. We didn't deport him. We extradited him. How about that? There's my answer. But so the other part that comes into play in all of this is, again, the Democrats screaming about deportations and economic migrants. And see, this is the big thing. People come to the United States. I mean, and we do give asylum, okay? I mean, political asylum or religious asylum, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You're persecuted somewhere, okay, we'll allow you a safe haven to come here. You apply for it and you get it. The problem is that's been abused to the point where people want economic asylum. Well, I can make more money in the United States than I can in Madagascar. Yeah, I'm not going to disagree with you there, but that's not a reason for asylum. You can make money in Madagascar. So go do it there. That's it. So now what we have, because the system's been gamed for so long, is illegals know this. And so they come to the United States knowing they have no basis whatsoever to get asylum. They're not politically persecuted. They're not religiously persecuted. Nothing. So they come and they make this bullshit reason, and they get put in the queue for an immigration hearing, for an asylum hearing. And in the meantime, while they are awaiting their hearing, they are given a work permit. And they go start a life in the United States. And it's 3 years, 5 years, 10 years before their hearing ever comes up, if they can be found even at that point. Okay? So they make all the money, have their life, do whatever, get married, find somebody here who's going to marry them, and then they go, well, now I can apply for, a green card and citizenship because, I've got a spouse that's American. And so they're gaming the system by coming in under false pretenses trying to claim asylum. So Trump signed another executive order yesterday saying that asylees or potential asylees need to be adjudicated immediately. Somebody has to look at the merit of their case upon the application and say, okay, you have a legitimate reason to apply for asylum, or I'm sorry, no, you don't, GTFO. Okay. The Democrats are, of course, screaming on this. We also heard the other day that a liberal judge, federal judge again, ordered the Trump administration that they couldn't deport the people from Haiti or Cuba or wherever, I think there are 5 different countries, whatever, unless they have individual hearings. All right. Now I'm going to give you this as a stat. There are roughly 2 million people, illegals, here in the U.S. right now that are awaiting asylum hearings. There are 700 immigration judges. So if you do the math, if every one of those judges heard one case an hour for an 8-hour workday for a 40-hour work week, it would take almost 3 years to hear every one of those asylum cases. And that's not including, over those 3 years, all the rest of the people that are coming in saying, hi, I want to make more money in the United States, give me asylum. But of course, while they're doing that, well, I'm having a hard time finding a job, so I need food stamps, or I need welfare, or I need Social Security benefits. And the Biden administration was going, here's a check. I mean, remember all these stories on illegals coming in and getting $5,000 a month, while the guy who worked for 40 years gets $1,200 a month. Something's wrong at this picture. We put money in and are told we're not going to get it out. But you come into the United States, do not contribute squat to Social Security, to the country, to the GDP, to anything, and you collect 3 times, 4 times as much as somebody who did? Because, we've got to be so welcoming to these people. They have a tough time in their country. Good. You know what? 250 years ago, there were a whole bunch of people here who had a tough time, and there wasn't any bailout. They went to war against the government and won. They fought for what they had. You go back throughout your family history, the generations in there, and you look at what your parents, your grandparents, your great-grandparents did to put food on the table. Their whole goal in life was to give the next generation a better life. And fortunately, we're here now, and the country has done very well contrary again to what the Democrats say. The country has done very well financially, economically. We have our poor people, our poorest people, have a higher standard of living than 99% of the people in the rest of the world. All of them, okay? Our poor people have a better life than they could anywhere else. And you know what? That's because we all fought for it. These illegals can go back to their own country and they can fight for it. They want better wages? Fight for it in your country. You want a better standard of living? Fight for it in your country, just like we did. Sorry, you don't get to take benefits away from me and everybody else, my age, younger, older, anything. You don't get to take benefits away from the American citizen because, oh, you're so oppressed economically. I don't give a damn. Trump's absolutely right cutting these people off. Trump's absolutely right saying auto pen deportation. You're here, you don't qualify for asylum, get back on a boat, it's going south again. Goodbye. Period. I mean, this is it. All this talk about how the American people are suffering with costs and inflation, etc. Though I hate to tell Democrats, in the last 100 days under the Trump presidency, the cost of food is down, the cost of gas is down. Don't give me these CPI numbers, X food and energy. I don't care what a new iron costs. You know, I don't care what film for a camera costs. But gas and food, that's the inflation that matters. And that's going down, okay? Price of eggs coming down. And it's certainly not because the illegals came with a whole bunch of eggs and saved the American economy. No. We all need, all of us, those of us who bleed red, white, and blue, the colors of the American flag, not bleeding red, white, and blue or red and yellow, the colors of the communist flag. You want to bleed red and yellow? Go get on a boat to China. We won't stop you. But those of us who worked our ass off, who put money away, not by choice, but because it was stolen from us twice, once out of our paycheck and then out of our savings account by the government, we deserve all of it back. And I'll tell you this, when they come up and say, Social Security's broke, we're not paying your check this month, the IRS needs to go into Congress's paycheck, current and former members, and say, we're taking your bank account, we're taking your stock portfolio, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You pissed away everybody else's money, we're taking it from you and giving it back to them. This is it. The American citizen worked for all of this. We paid into it. And personally, I'll be damned if Juan and Maria are going to get the benefits of my hard work. I've had it. Pinball out.